So guys, let's get started. So in sewing your palazzo trouser, the first thing you'll be measuring is your hip line, which is 10 inches, and you'll measure your inner line, which is 21 inches, and the full length of the trouser, 40 inches. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is I'm going to reel it out, as you see me do here. I'm going to roll out my knee line also, and I'll go to my hem and I'll roll it out also. And the next thing I'll be, so on the starting point of the clothes, where I have my clothes unfold, I'll just roll out a straight line, as you see me do, to be a guide, and that will be the starting point of what I'll be doing. So I'm just going to roll out a straight line, as you see me do. That will be the starting point of all my measurements. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So the next thing I will now be doing right now is that I'm going to measure my hip divided by 4, and I will mark out my hip divided by 4 from that start point. Don't forget, I will do the same on the waistline, the start point, and I will connect with the ruler. I'll connect straight with the ruler, as you see me do. So after that, from that point, I will come out by 2.5 inches on the hip line. That will serve as my crouch curve. So I'll just extend, I'll go ahead and extend that my hip line to that point, and I will use that to create my crouch line, as you see me do. Sorry, don't be annoyed, I'm using the kind of bogey choke. I'm just trying to give it that good shape. So I'm going to check the total things I have there. I have the total of 12 divided by 2, I'll mark it, that's 6. And that 6 will be the guide for the center of the dress all through. So what I have there is 12 divided by 2, 6. And I'll go to the edge of the starting point and mark 6 from the starting point. I will come down by 2 inches from my hip line to serve as my tie line. And I'll also roll out my tie line, as you see me do. I'll roll out my tie line. And after I roll out my tie line, the next thing you'll now do is that you extend the midpoint line. So you can go ahead and measure it 6 inches, and also the midpoint on the knee line 6 inches from my start point, and also on the I will measure the 6 inches also there. And the next thing I'll be doing is that I'm going to be connecting to with a straight line. A straight line will just give me the guide to know where my midpoint is. So every other measurement we'll be doing here will be starting from that midpoint. So I'm just going to connect a straight line, as you see me do here. So let's dive right into the tutorial per se. So what I'll be doing right now is, that 2 inches which I come down with from my hip line, which is my tie line, I'll be putting in my tie measurement, which is actually 24. So 24 divided by 2 is 12, ensuring that the midpoint of 12, which is 6, is on the midline which we constructed. So ensure that, what I'm trying to tell you is that the tie divided by 2 is 24, 24 divided by 2 is 12. Ensure that the midpoint of 12, which is 6, is on the midline, and mark it out on both sides. So I'll be having 6 on one side and 6 on the other side, and I will repeat the same thing on my knee line and do the same on my hem line. And I'm just going to connect it, blending everything into, look at the tie line, it is kind of a little bit into my starting point. So I'll just blend it, and I'm going to align everything. I will do that on those. I'll also do that on the crouch line also. I'm just going to connect it like this, as you see me do. Just follow me and you'll get the gist. So I'll just connect it like that. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is that under my waistline, I'm going to enter my waistline measurement divided by 4. I'm going to enter my waist measurement divided by 4. My waist is 28, divided by 4, I'll be having 7. Ensuring the midpoint of 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5, is on that center line. And I'll mark 3.5 towards the cross line and outside. And also put 1 inches that allowance and 1 inches sewing allowance. I'm going to do that. As you can see me, make sure that the midpoint of 7 is on the line. Mark it on both sides and add your 1 inch sewing allowance and data allowance, and connect the line right into your start point. Connect the line, as you see me do, into your start point. So the next thing you'll be doing right now is that from the crouch line, you will come down by 1 inch. You come down by 1 inch, and you connect with the slope to the edge, to the start point of the palazzo trouser, which is the waist, to create the waist slope. If you look at our waist is not straight. So you measure what you have on the crouch line. I have about 11 inches there. Normally I am supposed to have at least 12 inches. For somebody using hip, that is 7, 38 to 40. People using beyond 40 can have more than 12. So what I'm going to do is just that I'm going to extend my crouch line, as the same middle there. I'm going to extend my crouch line. So I'll now measure what I have, and I now say I have about 12. So I'm just going to blend it right into my existing measurements, the one I've marked. Do you see what I'm trying to explain to you? So that's basically all for the front pattern. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out, as you see me do. So guys, I'm gonna go to the back pattern. I'm sorry, while I was making the video of how to cut the back pattern, I made a mistake. Just follow me, you get what I'm doing. So after you've placed your front on the back, because you place the front cloth on the fabric to cut your back pattern, just as you seen, you just place your clothes on the back pattern. You will now come to your crotch line and extend the crotch line to create the crotch line, so you'll not make a mistake. And on the crotch line, you will mark 2.5 inches on the crotch line. So just to mark 2.5 inches, extend the crotch line as you see me do, mark 2.5 inches. And on the waistline, look at that place I am marking, that is the start point. Just make sure that your back panel is a little bit higher than the front panel. So just mark 2 inches outside, 2 inches, then to come and make the 2.5 inches that you mark on the crotch line. So on the crotch line side, those side I am doing right now, you mark 2 inches also. You know the way we cut a normal trouser for your sewing allowance. So you will mark 2 inches there, then on the crotch line 2.5 inch. On the waist, you mark 2 inches as you see me do. On the start point, you mark 2 inches there. So the extension, I will explain the extension of the back crotch line. That will be longer than the front. So just ensure that the 2 inches you mark from the waist blends in to meet the 2.5 on the crotch line. So the next thing you'll be doing is that on that waistline on the back pattern, you divide it by 2. So you'll be having 1 inch there, and you will blend in that 1 inch. You remove 1 inch out of what you mark already, and you blend in that 1 inch to meet with the crotch line. Make sure it's 1 inch. If you leave it at 2 inch, you will see you have excessive waists after putting your dart and stuff. So just remove 1 inch from there and extend it by 3 inches from that point, because you know the crotch line on the front was 12 inches. You must have at least 3 inches above 12 inches, which is 15 inches. So what you're just basically going to do is that when you measured your crotch line from the waistline, whatever you have there, make sure it is 3 inches above whatever you have at the front. So I measured what I saw I was having exactly 12.2 at the back, so I will just extend it by 3 inches and I will go above. So that is why the crotch line of the back must be higher than the front. You know you have the buttocks at the back, so it won't be dragging the clothes down. So what I'm going to do basically is that I go up by 3 inches. So I measured a total of, I was having a total of 15 inches there, which is 3 inches higher than the front crotch line. Don't forget the front crotch line is 12. Then from that, I'm going to blend in my crotch line to that 1 inch that I removed. Just see what I'm doing. Now I remove 1 inch from that waistline. I'm just going to blend in my crotch line. Then I'm going to, from that point, I'm going to create another slope to come and make the waistline, which I started from. That is why you look at the back, it has a kind of slanted shape. So you just have to ensure that you have 2 inches at the side of the crotch line towards the end. You don't need to add any inches at the side, other side. The sewing allowance that is needed is the 2 inches you put on those sides, and you slant it to come and meet the start point. You see where I'm pointing at? At that top, you slant it to come and meet your start point. Just make sure that the waistline and the start point is rhyming, but the crotch line of the back should be higher with 3 inches above the front crotch line, and you blend it with a slant line, and that is basically all you need. You don't need to add any other inches to the side or the start point allowance. All we need is the 2 inches allowance that we'll be using, and that is the ones I've put and I've explained already. So that's basically all for that. So the next thing is that we'll be cutting our band. I have about 2 inches on fold, and I love using the hem of my fabric as one side of my band. If you don't have the hem, you can just make do with the hem of any fabric, or if you know you can't get the hem of any fabric, just weave both sides or weave the band ultra. You getting what I'm saying? So I have 2 inches on fold. I've gone ahead to cut out my band that I'll be needing for the clothes. So just make sure one side is hemmed, is the hemming, and if you can't get it, just make sure you weave it. You'll begin to see the reason why I'm asking you to do that to fold up. So you can see that I have 4 inches while I open it, and on fold I'm having exactly 2 inches. So let's get into the sewing tutorial. So the first thing I'll be doing is that the crotch line, I'll bring the crotch line of the front and I will sew it with ½ inch all through like that. I'm going to sew it with ½ inch, and I'll do the same with the back. And when I do that, I'll come back and show you guys what it is looking like. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. As you can see what it is looking like. You can see I've gone ahead to sew the crotch line of both the front and the back. I've gone ahead to sew the front. The next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be inserting my darts. So from the seaming allowance of the crotch line, I'm just going to mark 4 inches. I'm going to mark 4 inches as my dart, and I'm going to notch it. So that will be as a guide for where my dart will be. And I'm going to do the same for the back panel also. The same thing for the front and the back panel. So I'm going to sew the dart on the front, and I'm also going to use the same pattern from the back, and I'm going to show you what it is looking like. So guys, I've gone ahead to put my dart. As you can see, I'm going to have to put my dart on the front and the back. Do it to iron it out, so it will be giving you a nice thing. So the next thing you're going to do is that you're going to measure your waist and join the sides. Make sure you measure your waist very well. Don't forget that the back panel is more than the front, so you have to be careful while measuring your waist. So join the front and the back panel together by the side. So I'm going to take this machine and join it. So guys, I've gone ahead to join the sides of my front and my back panel. So the next thing we'll be doing right now after joining the side is we'll come to the crotch line. Look at it, the crotch line of the front and the back. You align it, make sure they are properly aligned together. Align it well, make sure they are properly aligned together, and you pin it all down to the end of the two clothes unfold, just pin it down. Just make sure the crotch line are well joined, and I'm going to sew with 1/2 inch all through. I'm going to sew with 1/2 inch all through. So hold that down with a pin and pin all through down. So you'll make sure you stitch it all through down. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch it all through down. As you can see what it is looking like, I've gone ahead to stitch it. So the next I'm going to do is that I'm going to lose one side of my palazzo trouser to fix my band. So what you're basically doing is that you're going to open your band up like this. As you do, pick the side that is normal, that is not the hemming, and you sew all through. After opening one side, sew it all through. Then I'll show you what it's looking like. Let me take this to the machine right now, and I'm going to show you what it's looking like. So guys, I decided to open both sides of my band in case maybe my client gets bigger. So if she wants to lose it, it won't be an issue. So I just open both sides. I divided my band into two and join it separately. So after joining the band with 1/2 inch, don't forget that the band is 2 inch unfold. I'll be having 1.5 left on the outer part, and I'll be having exactly 2 inches on the inside. You can see what the reason why I'm using my hem on the fabric. So I'll just brace it on the outside. As you see me, that place I'm showing you, you're just going to brace it with your machine. You're just going to sew all through that point, so it will be holding firm and it will be neat, looking neat on the wrong side. There won't be any issue of the clothes losing or something because you're using the hem. So after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and join one side of my clothes. So guys, I've gone ahead to join one side of my clothes and I left one side open. That will be for my zipper allowance. That will be for my zipper allowance. So you're just going to measure your waist all around and you're going to fix your zip. So we're actually coming to the end of the class. Please do it to like this video, subscribe. Don't forget to also come to your hem and press it in. Make sure you fold it in. Do it to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If this video have helped you this far, please and please help us go a long way. Like this video, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that's basically all for the class. I know you've really learned one or two. And do it to recommend our YouTube channel to your friends. You can go to our profile and follow me on my Instagram page. So thank you guys.